India's fighter jet debate is no longer just about upgrading old aircraft. Russia has now begun flight testing a twin-seat Su-57D. Pakistan is moving closer to China's fifth-generation J-35, and that raises a serious question. Is India falling behind in the stealth fighter race? Welcome to Indosphere Media. Today, we're breaking down one of the most important defense questions facing India right now. Should India continue with Rafale, consider the Su-57 more seriously, or push even harder for its own fifth-generation fighter program? This is not about hype. It is about timing air power and whether India can afford to wait while its rivals move ahead. Why this matters now? Let's start with the bigger picture. Pakistan has reportedly moved forward on China's J-35 fifth-generation fighter, which means the regional balance is changing fast. At the same time, Russia has started testing a twin-seat Su-57D, a new variant that could make the Russian offer more attractive to India. So the question is no longer just which jet is better. The real question is, does India need a fifth-generation fighter now? And the answer is yes, India absolutely needs one. But that does not automatically mean India should rush into a deal. The Rafale advantage. Let's start with the aircraft India already knows, the Rafale. The Rafale is already in Indian service, which is a huge advantage. It has proven itself operationally, it is already integrated into India's Air Force structure, and it can be inducted and supported with far less risk than a completely new platform. India has also cleared a 114 Rafale plan, which shows that the aircraft is still seen as a serious solution to India's squadron shortage. That matters because India does not just need better aircraft. It needs aircraft it can deploy quickly, maintain reliably, and scale efficiently. In a crisis, readiness beats theoretical potential. Why the Su-57 is back. Now let's talk about the Su-57. Russia's twin-seat Su-57D has changed the conversation. It's a game-changer. Reports say the new version may be used not only for training, but also for manned-unmanned teaming, where one aircraft can help control drones during combat. That is exactly the kind of capability that modern air forces are looking for. For India, this matters because a twin-seat fifth-generation fighter could fit future missions involving drone coordination, long-range strike planning, and complex battlefield management. But there is a big difference between a promising prototype and a mature production fighter. The Su-57 still has to prove itself in production scale, engine maturity, logistics, long-term support, and actual export readiness. So yes, the new variant makes the Russian pitch more interesting, but it does not prove India is buying it. The J-35 pressure. This is where things get more serious. If Pakistan receives the J-35 from China, India cannot ignore that. It's a way-up call. A fifth-generation stealth fighter on the Pakistani side would create pressure on India to respond in some form. Not panic, pressure. India already has a larger 4.5-generation fleet, but that does not fully solve the stealth gap. Modern air combat is moving toward low-observable aircraft, sensor fusion, networking, and drone teaming. If India waits too long, the gap may become harder to close later. That is why India needs a fifth-generation path now. Not someday, not in theory, now. The source code problem. One reason some people are looking beyond Rafale is the issue of source code access. There have been reports that France has not given India full access to the Rafale's sensitive source code. That matters because source code access affects how much control India has over upgrades, electronic warfare integration, and weapons customization. But this should not be overstated. A lack of source code access does not make Rafale a bad aircraft, it simply means India may not have the level of control they need. So the correct view is not Rafale is rejected, the correct view is Rafale is strong, but not fully open. What India should do. So what should India actually do? The smartest answer is a three-track approach. First, India should continue with Rafale to strengthen near-term readiness. Second, India should seriously evaluate the Su-57 only if Russia offers genuine technology transfer, local production, and a production-ready twin-seat version. Third, India must keep the AMCA program moving without delay, because long-term strategic independence will come from indigenous capability, not from endless foreign dependence. That is the balanced path. India should not panic, but it should not be complacent either. So here is the bottom line. India is not finished in the fifth-generation race, but it does face growing pressure from Pakistan's J-35 plans and China's expanding stealth ecosystem. The Rafale remains the safest near-term buy. The Su-57 twin-seat version is an interesting opportunity, but it still needs to prove itself. And AMCA remains India's most important long-term answer. India does need a fifth-generation fighter path, and the real challenge is making the right move without wasting time. This is Indosphere Media. The race is on, and India's next decision could shape its air power for decades.